Everyone, welcome back to Nortman Reviews. We're going through Age of Apocalypse. You know that. You've been with me for like a few months now, it seems. Seems like a lot longer. I don't know how long it's been. So many videos. We're on the last phase, issue 4 of all the books, and this is Gambit and the X-Ternals. And this book has been good, has been bad. It changed artists halfway through from one guy to another. Who was the first guy? Tony Daniels in the first one, the first 2 issues, and then this one was drawn by Salvador Laroche, which I think was a step up. Tony Daniel gets better as he goes on. I still was never a huge fan of his. But Gambit and the X-Ternals, they were sent, they're kind of just a small ragtag team of like Robin Hood outlaws who steal supplies and, give them to those who need it. But they were tasked by Magneto to steal the M-Cron crystal. You take this small, like, outlaw thieving group, send them off into space to, get, like, one of the most powerful, like, objects and weapons of all time. That's a pretty big ask, if you ask me. Why didn't Magneto send more powerful hitters? I don't know. He's a thief. That's what they do. So he figured that's the only way, I guess. The first issue was kind of the setup, and they were sent off on the way. Issue 2 and 3 were the only ones where they were in space. They met up with the Imperial Guard and Gladiator. They met up with the Starjammers and Deathbird. And Gambit eventually went into the M-Cron crystal and had a conversation with this little dude, little elf troll dude, who's like the Guardian, kind of talking about how the M-Cron crystal is ever expanding, right? It's taking over system by system. And this was something that happened in the main universe right at the very end before Age of Apocalypse happened. They never gave an answer for why that was happening. Even in the comic, they were like, the Watchers say it's bad, and we don't know why. But it was just like taking over everything. The last thing that happened in the main titles before Age of Apocalypse was the M-Cron crystal, like, crystallizing everything, right? They explained in the last issue of Gambit and the X-Ternals that the M-Cron crystal is multi-dimensional. So if it's fucked up in one universe, it's going to affect other universes. So in the Age of Apocalypse universe, since Professor Xavier wasn't there to teach Jean Grey properly how to use her powers, she never came in contact with the Phoenix Force. And the Phoenix Force never repaired the M-Cron crystal during the Phoenix Saga. That never happened, right? So it starts splintering and shattering and spilling over into other dimensions. So Gambit has to steal a piece of that, and he was able to do that, and he had to give something in return, which they didn't specifically state, but from what my understanding is that Gambit carries a huge torch for Rogue. Like, he's in love with her, but she's married and has a child with Magneto, but he still carries a torch for her. He basically had to give up his love, sacrifice what he feels for her, to get a piece of the M-Cron crystal. The M-Cron crystal was like fucking huge. It's like size of like a fucking building or something. But you can only take a small piece of it and it still has the same properties. So that's what they were able to take. And at the very, very end of the last issue, they took the piece, and then Lila, who barely tapped into her mutant powers, was able to teleport them out, and you didn't see what happened. You did find out that Sunspot died during that because he was trying to absorb the radiation of the M-Cron crystal to save everyone, and it seemed like he died. Okay? That's what happened. That's a lot of talking. We're fucking like 4 minutes in. I haven't really opened the page to look at it. One thing of note also, before we get in, is Guido, part of the team, strong guy, he hates Gambit because he is in love with Lila Cheney, but Lila Cheney is in love with him. So he hates Gambit, so that's been a constant theme. So what's going on here? Why are they attacking him? Where are they at? What's going on? Let's find out. A lot of things converge. A lot of these storylines start converging in on themselves at once. Like things that happen in other issues will like affect will like bleed into subtly into other things. So what is going on here? It says now there's a bit of a flashback situation going on, and there's these sewers, and there's a couple of people talking. They're walking through, and they say the names Allie and Paris, and you kind of know who those might be. And it's these two people here, and they come across Nanny. It's this robot guard that was protecting Magneto and Rogue's child. Okay, that you found out that you last saw them, Nanny, in Amazing X-Men #3 when Apocalypse invaded the X-Mansion, had a big fight, not as big as it should have been, with Magneto, but Nanny, the protocols like triggered in her. She put little Charles in a cocoon, that's their baby's name, and she like fucked off, right? And she went into the sewers to protect him and get him away. So after that big fight, the Amazing X-Men, which includes Dazzler and Exodus here, they came back and they saw the X-Mansion all fucked up and no one was there. And so they had to start making decisions of what they wanted to do. Quicksilver started sending people out. You go here, I'm going to go here. And he sent these two into the sewers to find little Charlie, Magneto's son, right? Quicksilver's brother. So that's what these two are doing, and they find the destroyed robot. You don't see how this happened or who did this. Last you saw of her was she was found by a soldier of Apocalypse, and she like brought out all these guns to like defend the kid. But you never saw what happened. So now we cut to this. The robot is destroyed. And it talks about it must have taken something incredibly powerful to take Nanny out. But more importantly, where's Charles? Where is Magneto's son? There's the robot, no sign of the kid. All right? So that was now. This is later. And along with Gambit, there was this little fuck, Richter. Richter is a soldier of Apocalypse. He was, I forget what his... Infinite Mooder, I don't know, whatever. He was in charge, and he was trying to make a name of himself. He wanted to capture Gambit to like up his status in Apocalypse's regime. So he followed them to into space, you know, with the Shi'ar and everything, and he was with them in the M'Kraan crystal, and now he's here. So he's been following him around. He's just been a pain in the ass the whole time. And so he's in a chair and he's being talked to by somebody off screen. And it's Apocalypse. And Apocalypse is saying, you need to tell me why you made the decisions you made. Your actions almost cost me substantially. Because of your loyalty, I'm going to give you a chance to explain your work. But you have to tell me in exacting detail how you almost managed to destroy 100 lifetimes' work of carefully crafted work. And you see Apocalypse here. There's like the silhouette, and there's another silhouette with him. And there's the head of little Charles. Which, I mean, I don't know how old this kid is. He reminds me of my son who just turned 2. And it just kind of like already kind of gets me. Like if my kid was in like the clutches of a fucking madman. So now this is earlier. So you got... Salvador took the opportunity to draw her in the fucking weirdest goddamn position with her boobs out there. But Gambit and Lila are running, and they're talking about Richter's shockwaves are getting closer and closer. And Rusty's back. And Gambit's saying, just keep moving. We don't have time to waste with that idiot. So they're kind of fighting for their life, running away. And she mentions about how Roberto's Sunspot... Rusty. Take a look, everyone. There he is. There's your moment to shine. Sunspot is gone. He's dead. And he's like, I know, but we can't worry about that now. We have to get this shard to Magneto before the whole universe is gone forever. So it's not just like... They really don't give Gambit enough credit, like, for what he did to get this Mcron crystal, it's not just saving this world of the Age of Apocalypse and changing it. It's basically saving the entire universe and a multiverse, in a way. Sorry, my camera is just like giving me troubles. So they got to get the shard of Magneto and they got to repair everything, right? And he kind of just explains that's why we split up, because he knew Richter would go after Gambit and he would leave. He sent the shard off with Jubilee and Strong Guy, right? And he's like, yeah, okay, but why did you bring me? He's like, well, you're my girl, and you know we might as well be together if we're gonna die. So they're kind of like causing a distraction. He throws his blades to like let Richter know where they're at. And it gets us away through the tunnel. So they're decoys, right? So they get a little mouth action going on, and they run out, and she's not strong enough to teleport them out, conveniently enough. So they keep running. It's a good shot of them kissing. So, and then bursts in fucking Richter. Always kind of like this shot. It has implied muscle detail. I always want to draw like this, but I never think of it or know how. I'm always like drawing all the muscles and stuff. I never know how to just use the shadows. So this is a really cool drawing. If that was by Salvador or if it was by the inker Al Milgram, who's to say? So he's monologuing to himself. He's like, I will arrest you. I will do this. Apocalypse will smile upon me. So he's tunnel visioned. They're in a tunnel. Like laser focused. And Rusty, god damn it, man. You make it so hard. So hard to do anything. Sorry, I burped. Alright. He's a soft kitty. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr, purr, purr. Anyways, it goes to later. So this is still being interrogated by Apocalypse. And he says, you went after Gambit. You didn't know you were being duped. What the girl Jubilee carried was more precious to me. He's like, I thought as leader of the X-Ternals, he was important. He's like, well, you thought wrong. And Apocalypse has this kid, and it's just, ooh. And Apocalypse was just explaining to him, like, well, you were fucking around. A child escaped with the means to alter the face of the entire universe. So we go to earlier, and here's Jubilee. She's running. And she's running with the Mcron crystal, and there she has little Charles. And the kid is crying. She doesn't know where she's going. She doesn't know which way to go. She's by herself. And the kid is crying, and she kind of yells at him, like, let me think. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to yell at you. But she says, these tunnels lead to where the X-Men live, but I don't know the way. Guido, Strong Guy, he's the one who knows. But he's not around here either. I don't know where he is, so she's on her own. The shock waves are going on, still in the background. It breaks up some of the wall, and a flood comes rushing in. She's able to escape that, but then suddenly appears Guido. This is a cool picture of just how massive this Strong Guy is. And he says, I'm really sorry. I love you, but I can't let you... God, Rusty. I can't let you get to Magneto with that crystal shard. And she's like, why? Why are you doing this? He's like, it's Gambit. I've always hated him. I don't want to hurt you. And she says, betraying us to Apocalypse isn't going to make Lila Cheney love you. Okay. Rusty, I love you. But you got to go. Sorry, everyone. Rusty's gone. I mean, he's still around, but I had to move him. Blah, 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 blah. And here, he kind of reveals, I got no choice. And he says, 2 months ago, I was caught. and they planted a bug inside me. They said we weren't important, but want to keep tabs on us. And it's like, if I ever try to cut it out, it would have blown up and killed me and killed us all. If I cooperated, the rest of you wouldn't be hurt, he says. So that's how Richter was able to figure out where they were every single time, even in the previous issues. And he says Gambit was the only one they really wanted. They thought if they could use him to get to Rogue, which would get to Magneto. And he's like, I was just protecting Lila. So he, you know, Jubilee can't do anything against him. He's too strong, too powerful. So he takes the kid and he takes the shard. And he was the one, he came across Nanny, and he was the one who destroyed it. You knew it would take us back to Xavier's mansion, so you destroyed it. He says, I do love you, but I still have a chance to make my plan work. I hope to see you again, and I hope you don't hate me for what I'm about to do. So he runs off. He has the baby. He has the M-Cron crystal. And then it goes back to Richter being interrogated. He's like, I didn't know what was going on till later. And he's like, and when they all came crashing headlong to each other, was that by design or by mere coincidence? He's like, I thought I got lucky. I caught a break. He's like, yeah, but you were wrong, like you always are. So it goes back. There's Gambit. They're busting through a grate or something. They come across this like church or something in the tunnels. And he knows that Richter is able to track them. He's like, if that's true, yeah, we got to find out if that's true. All right. And so he says that Gambit has a plan, and is like, that's kind of scary. He never has a plan. So he runs up these stairs, and he runs into a fucking wall or something, and he goes tumbling down these stairs, and he looks up, and there's fucking Strong Guy. And he has the baby. They have everything, and he's like, where's Jubilee? Like, this is funny, kind of like this point with all these action lines, like out of a fucking anime or something. It's like, you're supposed to be running the wild direction. This is where it's revealed to him, like we already know. But, you know, Guido Carousel is working for me. And it's like, tell me it's not true. He's like, it's complicated. So they start arguing over this, you know, you betrayed us, I didn't want to, all that kind of shit. Richter attacks, and shit starts collapsing in on this. And it's hard to tell what's going on here. Guido catches some of the rubble as he's holding it up. But Lila also gets hit. And so she's unconscious. Gambit's yelling, like, I think I can reach her while, like, everything is coming down around them. And he says, get her. The main support column is resting on my back. I can't hold it up much longer. It's like, you're the only one who can save her. But Rogue's son and the Crystal Shard, like, they're coming with me. So it's like, Gambit here has to make a choice. Is he going to try and save the son, like Rogue's son, and get the shard, or is he going to save Lila? And he ultimately chose Lila. Honor, hope, love. They beat against each other inside Gambit's pounding heart. The entire structure is going to collapse. Only Guido can protect the baby. That's true. So he couldn't, even if he tried, you know, the kid would get crushed. He also has the Crystal Shard, and Gambit needs it, but only Gambit can reach Lila in time. Rogue's son, Magneto's hope, Gambit's love. He crawls across the rubble, leaving piece of his soul with every painful move. So he has to choose, and he chooses her. And everything comes crumbling down. They are able to get out. She's like, how are we going to get them back? He says, I don't know. And she asks, why did you do it, Remy? What you saved wasn't as important as what we lost. And he says, it was to me. So now, you know, later it's Richter and Apocalypse talking. And Apocalypse is just fucking with Richter. He's like, the kid was brought to me by someone who knew better than you. What would it take to please me? You know, it's like, what do you think was more important to me? Like a band of like thieves or the acquisition of the son of Magneto? He's like, oh, and he didn't know that's who it was. He's like, you should have known. And then he also, so there's Strong Guy, there's Guido with Apocalypse, and he hands over this bag with the M-Cron crystal. And he says, not to mention, the glass contains the power of infinity. So, Apocalypse has the shard, and he has Magneto's son, and he fucking, like, just bashes him over the head and fucking murders him, just kills him right there, so Richter's fucking done. And, he's talking to Guido. He's like, the child and the M-Cron for your freedom and that of Lila Cheney. A very fair bargain for one who has shown the fitness to survive. You have gained much, Guido, and the only thing you have lost in the process is your soul. So that's kind of a fucking depressing moment there. And then now we go to now, and here's Dazzler and Exodus, and they are getting the rubble out, unburying Lila and Gambit, and they're like, "What's going on? Did you bring back the M-Cron crystal? Did you find anything? What do you know?" And like, it's a lot of answers. You're not gonna like any of them, but let's go back to the mansion. And this is the final image of this, and he talks about, for the love of Rogue, Gambit once sacrificed his own heart. He thought he would never give so much of himself for another ever again. Today he did, but this time Gambit's choice may result in the sacrifice of the entire universe. And that's the end. To be continued in Amazing X-Men #4 and concluded in X-Men Omega. So we'll be definitely looking at those to see what's going to happen there. Gambit and the X-Ternals. This is, again, hit and miss. I really liked this ending. I had issues 1 and 2. Somehow I missed number 3, and I had issue number 4. So I didn't know what happened for a long time. But this issue always stuck with me. It was always kind of a downer and depressing note of them trying to, you know, succeed in their mission, save the life of a young boy, being betrayed by someone in their team. It's just very, very depressing. But it was really good. But Gambit, man, he's had quite the hell of a year, you know, with his popularity, like his death in the X-Men '97, and then showing up with Channing Tatum and Deadpool and Wolverine. Gambit's been around. He's getting some notoriety again. So I really enjoyed this comic, and I hope you did too. Let me know if you did or if you didn't. Hit the like button. Please subscribe if you're new. If you're here for Rusty, man, let me know. I'll give more Rusty videos. But thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.